In this video tutorial, we will see how to establish connection between Python and MySQL database. Let's see the procedure step by step. Step 1. We must install MySQL client package to communicate with database. Pip install MySQL client. MySQL client is successfully installed. Step 2. Create a Python file and import MySQL class from MySQL database package. Let's do that. I am giving file name as mysql connection.py. In this file, import underscore MySQL class from MySQL DB package. Save the file, run the file in the terminal py mysql connection.py. There is no error. Step 3. MySQL class contains connect method with host, port, user, password, and DB arguments to establish connection with MySQL. In my machine, host name is 127001, port number is 3306, username is root, and password is kparmar7. So these are the details given for MySQL database in my machine. Come back to Visual Studio Code and establish the connection. Use mysql.connect method. Host is equal to 127.0.0.1. Port number is 3306. User is root. Password is kparmar7. And db is equal to sys. Let's check the db name. Come back to MySQL workbench. Here the DB name is sys, so use that DB name in Visual Studio Code. DB is equal to sys. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. So host name is a type of string, so put host number inside double quotes. Run the file in the terminal py mysql.py. File is running without any error. Step 4. What if a programmer type wrong detail about database connection? What if this connect statement throw an error? Answer is, it is programmer's responsibility to handle the exception. Let's see how to do that. Suppose my port number is 3007, which is an incorrect port number. In that case, Python throw an exception. Let's see the exception. Save the file, run the file in the terminal py mysql.py. We can see here mysql.db.exceptions.operation error. This is the error thrown by the Python. Step 5. How to handle the exception. First, import underscore exceptions class from MySQLDB along with underscore MySQL import exceptions class. Save the file. Put this mysql.connect code inside try block and handle the exception inside except block. So let's do that. Try except. Now to handle the exception, we need to call the exception here from exceptions class. So here exception is operational error. So call that exception here and print the statement. Cannot connect to MySQL server. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. We are able to see the error message here, cannot connect to MySQL server. Change the code back to 6.3006. Step 7. It is good programming practice to close DB connection after completing necessary logics or tasks. To close connection, we are going to use finally block. After this except block, write the finally block after except block. Finally, now to close the DB connection, we required a variable DB is equal to mysql.connect method. Now close this DB. DB dot close is the method to close the connection with DB. Run the file in the terminal mysql connection.py. The file is running without any exception. Step 7. Let's see one example to fetch data from DB table number plate. This number plate table contains 5 rows. Come back to MySQL DB. Here, this is the table. Select star from system is the database name and number underscore plate is the table name. Run this query. In this table, 5 rows are available. Come back to Visual Studio Code. After this db.query is the method. Instead of query method, we can use execute method that we will see in the next video. Write select query inside query function with string SQL query inside double quotes. For good programming practice, always use triple quotes because we may require to use single quotes or double quotes along with where clause value. So let's see the example. We need to use triple quotes here. Select star from database name is sys dot table name is number underscore plate. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. The code is running without any error. Step 9. Fetch the data. To fetch data, we require to use db.useResult method followed by fetch row method. So let's do that. db.use_result method dot fetch underscore row. After fetching the data, store these methods inside a variable result. Result is equal to db.use_result dot fetch row. Print the result. Print result. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. We can see we are able to fetch the first row of the table. Step 9. What if the table doesn't exist inside the database? Python will throw an exception in that case, and the programmer need to handle that exception. We have seen how to write user understandable message in the exception operational error. This is our user defined message. But what if we want to show the Python error message with error code as it is? So let's see how to do that. For example, number underscore plate. Remove this table. This table is available. I am using XYZ sys.xyz table. This table is not available inside the database. Run the file in the terminal. Since this table is not available, it is throwing programming error. Now, I want to show this error code and error message as it is. So for that, I will be using except block underscore exceptions dot programming error as PE. I am going to use alias name as PE. Print PE as it is. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. We can see here, this is our error code and this is error message. So change this XYZ back to number underscore plate. Save the file. What if we get any other unknown exception other than these two, other than operational error and programming error? In that case, we need to handle exception using superclass exception. because it handles all the child exceptions which are unknown to a programmer, and a programmer is not aware with those unknown exceptions. So let's do that. Accept exception superclass as EX. EX is the alias we are using for exception class. Print EX. Here, if inside this try block any other exception occur other than these two, then it will be handled by this exception block. Step 10. What if we want to print all the rows available inside the table? Here we are printing only one row, only first row. To print all the rows, we need to use max rows is equal to 0 inside this fetch row method. So let's do that. Max rows is equal to 0. Save the file, run the file in the terminal. We are able to fetch all the rows. Now we need to iterate to print the result one by one, to print the rows one by one. For that, we are going to use I is equal to 0 while loop, while starting from I less than length of the result, print the result in the square braces I. This is going to print 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, all the 5 rows which are available inside the DB. Comment this print statement, save the file, run the file in the terminal py mysql con.py. We are facing the issue, stop the server. After printing the result, we must increase the I value by 1, otherwise it will become an infinite loop. So save the file, run the file in the terminal py mysql connection.py. We are able to fetch all the 5 rows which are available inside the DB. Don't worry about this B which is coming along with every value. So this is the basic coding structure to write Python code to connect with any database. In the next video tutorial, we will see execute method and how can we use select, insert, update, delete and truncate queries with that execute method. Also, we will see how to create database using query from Python. Thanks for watching this video.